And keep in mind, those numbers that I throw out are for those that are in the Chess Network Cafe on ChessCube. So don't guess numbers in the Twitch chat. That's for the Chess Network Cafe chat room. Okay, so let's go. I'm having white again. All right, Queen's Gambit declined, accepted, or something other. Something else like E5. Ah. Okay, knight F3. Just want to be assured that I get that pawn back. So this is a little bit of a quiet approach. I mean, I'm not focused as much on getting my dark square bishop out. But again, more so just getting my bishop working here. So mission accomplished on that. Black does not have one pawn on those center squares here. And what else? What else is going on here? I think I might try for a quick Queen E2 and then Rook to D1. And I think that it's the right thing to run with here. Opposite the Queen, we could be having a capture, but Black runs into some nasty pins if the knight ends up, if there's like a bloodbath going on here on D4. A lot of pieces die on the D4 square, then and the knight takes, there's this ensuing pin, I believe. Actually, no, you know what? I think if instead of bishop e7, if pawn takes, I do this right away, because if I recapture, the knight takes and is on my queen, which is a very important detail. I don't want to even allow the knight to get here. So the queen, since it's on b6, sometimes it's this a6, b5 idea that would be a bit uncomfortable for white, and there'd be these prep moves or reactionary moves such as a4 to stop b5. And in going with this expansion, it's to help the light square bishop out. So my first thought is, with the queen on b6, what is this guy going to do? I don't have an answer to that. So I don't know what more to be doing besides just throwing my knight here. So, okay, and now my bishop is able to see the world, which is a good thing. This guy, he has a play on this diagonal. And I think that this is a good idea. A3. Or is it? There might be like a knight A5 to B3 stuff. So maybe that's a let's not and say we did type of thing. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. So where does my dark square bishop want to go? G5. That actually seems pretty good. Is there going to be a lot of pressure put on this? Actually, get out of there, queen. You need to go somewhere else. I want to release some pressure on d4, and then I might take an additional move with my bishop to play to g5. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe if the queen goes to c7 or home, it might be home where she should be going, because she is still accessible to attack by either my knight or later on with my queen rook playing to the c file if she's to play to c7. If she goes to a5, then I might be a bit more inclined to consider a3, because there's none of this knight a5 to, let's say, b3 idea. So, like right now, case in point, a3 I think is a good idea. And I think the last stream I was, the last stream I was playing against, who was it? Somebody with the handle 11-year-old genius. That's a handle that kind of sticks out. And I think going back over that particular game, where I was the black side, I was suggesting that maybe a3 is a good idea, because in that game I was able to pivot on b4 and get to d5 with this knight. So I went a3, b5 is going to be played. I might as well back up right now, knowing that he's going to get hit anyhow. And I think some natural moves, like getting my last piece involved on c1. And, well, actually, no. You know what? This might be a good move right now. Right now, this could be a really, really good move. Actually, I think it is. And it might be... It might actually be a winning move. Can you believe that? Because it is opposite the queen, and after an ensuing recapture on d5 with my bishop, it will be doing a couple things. One, hitting the knight. Two, pinning the knight. And, well, there's even a third. Just taking on this square with check and then picking off the queen on the home square. Did you catch all that? Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. Unprotected knight that is pinned, potential for bishop takes pawn winning the queen. And as follow-up moves, like if queen c7 in response to the bishop being on d5, there's rook to c1, and this pin is still persistent in some form. And I think I could pile up on it somehow. So I think we might be pretty close to seeing that happen. It's a bit awkward here. If the knight isn't captured, well... I don't know what to suggest for black. I think the first slip-up may have very well been that queen b6 move. Okay, this is the variation I was speaking of, so let's see what black decides on it. Maybe the case queen here is best or not. Interesting decision. Okay, so how can I take advantage of this awkward position that black is now in? I could run with rook c1. That seems like a good start, but there will be bishop here breaking the pin, and then what, right? What do I do after that? I might have thoughts of knight here, followed by knight d7 after bishop b7. Let's see, knight here. Bishop b7, knight here actually wins material. I think that's a sneaky move. Sneaky move, is that going to be TKO? Actually, bishop here, knight d7. The rook is cooked, and if queen takes knight, this same idea. Bishop takes pawn is available. Okay, maybe that is the best thing to be running with. I guess we're going to be having bishop there, and I'll have to be blocking with f3, or not have to, but it's probably the best way to go about things. So I'm going to retreat. The queen was hitting my bishop, and not just to any square, this one right here, because it's welcoming exchanges in a position where I'm up material. So the light squares are ones that I could, I think, rely upon. And what's the time situation? Under 50 minutes. Bishop here is definitely on my mind. Also a4. I like a4 actually. Yeah, let's go with a4. Missing anything? I don't think so. I'm trying to undermine the knight. And another way to view it is I'm looking to open up the a file for my rook. Oftentimes you'll need to not even, let's say, move your rooks in order to activate them. If you just make accurate pawn advances, then you know, that could be another way to get rolling here. So what do? I need a flight square. I want to be cautious of this. My bishop's pinned. Rook a2 seems just wrong, so let's not do that. And well, this is very awkward, but I'm going to do it. Because knight could take here with tempo. Okay, they're not doing that, but it's probably a time issue thing more than anything. Can I have a bunch of trades? Okay, let me just stay here. And next up, I just want a flight square. And guess where? The flight square is right here on a light square. I have everything coordinated. Everything should be squeaky clean here. I should probably trade rooks. I should have played rook to d8. Could do it now. And then follow up with the check, and then a pawn push. Break at the king. Queen's off. What's the time situation? I should have just taken that. Just pawn pushes. Okay. Just being... Okay, that got pretty nuts right there at the end. Good game. Let me back up here and let's see how either one of us could have made improvements here. Let me see. So okay, so what can we do? My opponent's saying, and I hate to see this, but they're saying that it was a lousy game from them, and I don't think that that's the case. So what do we have here? This is always going to be something you have to be very cautious of: expending a move, giving up the center, and capturing on this square when this bishop has not yet moved. Okay, but c5 is the correct way to go about things. This pawn isn't needing, it needs to be challenged. c5 is the one way to strike at it. It's the most probable one is the c5 break. In comparing the two, the c5 and e5 break, e5 is so much more difficult to get in. This knight is conveniently there to watch over it already, just from one move. You know, c5, the bishop is supporting it. There could always be a queen knight supporting it, etc. But as it stands now, the bishop being here is good enough. c5 is the way to go. Pressure, okay, these are good developing moves. I think it's just this one slight adjustment. I really don't think that the queen knows its place just yet. So don't go with the queen move. There's castle, and there's also a6 and b5. Really, this guy turned out to be a bit of a problem. It became too awkward. As soon as that b5 move came in, I think it's actually... I don't know. Maybe it's actually a winning just continuation with that d5 break. I'm in a better position to take advantage of the unprotected rook, the pinned knight, my rook being opposite the queen. So queen b6, do without, I think, castles or trying to get in a6 and b5. One thing that's interesting here is that when you play a6, I have a question to ask of myself, and that is, do I allow black to play b5 with tempo? If I don't want that to happen, a4 is a move that I'm really needing to consider. But you'll note that if I'm playing a4, guess what square I'll never be able to stop you from getting to? b4. My a pawn sometimes is just going to want to go one step to watch over that. Well, a couple things involved with a3. Watch over b4 and provide a backup square for my light square bishop. So anyhow, throwing a question to me early, in other words, right here, or actually you're having to do something with your queen right now, aren't you? So maybe first you have to take, let me recapture, and then look into this a6 move. a6, b5, bishop b7, excuse me, and then castle. I think this is where there was a problem right there with the queen b6 move, and that's really what led to the trouble, because the queen's having to go back. It's very uncomfortable wherever she goes. Again, c7, she's on an open file, not really where a queen wants to be when still both rooks are around. And c7, again, accessible to that knight at knight b5 type of move. So that's my suggestion right there. I think it's very difficult to get this guy working because of the moves that were lost right from move 2, right? Capturing, I mean, it's still playable and everything, but it's sort of like a little bit of a concession, a little bit of a loss of a time, and the queen b6 and then going back home that's a loss of time, and it's too much because I'm already in a spot where I have everything developed. And I don't know, I think this is just a winning continuation here. Knight out. Bishop b7 is met with knight d7, and I'm picking up the exchange. Okay, let me close out.